Hello and welcome back to another episode of the No Flipping Excuses YouTube channel. My name is Michael Bredhauer, and as a special treat, I am joined today again by our good friend and business partner, Jason Palliser. How you doing today, Jay?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. We've got a really cool one. We've had a lot of people ask us questions about how to work with this particular type of person in this industry.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to talk about it. But before we get into this, Jay, as always, you guys know what's coming. Motivate us. Like, comment, subscribe, and you're going to get more content like what we're about to talk about right now. And especially so you don't miss out, because a lot of people have asked for this, hit that notification bell. That way you will be notified when we drop new and exciting content, and you don't want to miss downloads, resources, and giveaways that we pass off to you. So without further ado, Jason, today we're going to be talking about a question that you guys have been asked a lot in regards to hedge funds.
Yeah,
correct. Working with them. Jason Palliser, Jason Lucchese have both done a lot with hedge funds. Mm-hmm. In this instance, we've been asked a lot, how do I get more involved? Can I wholesale real estate to hedge funds? How can I be a part of this? What would you say to that?
Yeah, so one of the most common questions for people that come across us and they're like, wow, you've built out some systems and worked with people that have done thousands of homes in a short amount of time, and you put the systems in place to do that. Mm-hmm. So the common question is, how do I work with a hedge fund? I don't even know where to start or what to do or where to look and blah, blah, blah. And
before we first talk about what a hedge fund is, just so the listeners that might not know, that might not have asked this question, because they're going to ask it eventually, what is a hedge fund? And then we'll talk about how can I wholesale some real estate to them? Yeah,
so speaking specifically in this real estate investment sandbox, so what I would tell you is this. Hedge funds is a fund of money controlled by a company, and then they invest it. And their job is to get a good return on investment for all their investors who invested into that fund, right? And so on a general scale, a hedge fund can invest in anything. They can invest $100 million in copper and then diversify and invest $75 million in overseas technologies. And a lot of them will also invest in real estate. So you have some that specifically invest in real estate and some with one leg of the entire hedge fund on top of all the other stuff they're invested in. They also invest a portion of that into real estate. So the hedge funds pool money together, and then it's their job to deploy that capital, but you want to work with them so they can deploy the capital to you while you're handing them the assets, right? And deploy that capital and get a good return on investment for all the people that have invested in that particular fund. So the casual investor, yourself, for most of you here, hey, you know what? I've been doing real estate, or I'm interested in real estate, and I've heard other people like work with hedge funds, and the hedge funds are good to work with. And so I want to learn how to work with hedge funds. So before I break that part down, let's just answer a lightning fast, easy question on why. Why do you want to work with a hedge fund? Because when they decide to buy, they buy a lot. That's why you want to work with them. When they decide to invest in a marketplace, they buy a lot. And now let's stack a cherry on top of that. And
love cherries.
No cherries.
No, I love cherries, I said.
Oh, I thought you said no. Yeah, you just got back from 2 weeks at some cherry festival or something.
In Michigan, right? Picking cherries. So when he says put a cherry on top, I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited.
So the cherry on top, so get excited if you must. The cherry on top is this. They close on time. When if you've been doing this for any amount of time whatsoever, you got a deal, and let's say you just want to sell that deal to somebody else or wholesale it or whatever, because it's not an asset that you're going to keep for your own personal cash flow or to fix and flip and make more money. You typically worry on, is this person going to close? So we get the question all the time, how do I work with hedge funds? And the big reasons why is that when they decide to buy, they buy a lot, and they buy pretty much everything depending on what their appetite is and what their goals to all the people that they manage the fund for are. And then secondly, they close on time, folks. The title company doesn't have to worry about them. You don't have to worry about them. They make the process streamlined and easy. So it's in your best interest to develop a relationship with these companies, these larger companies that buy a lot of property in some areas that you may want to go after. So Jason, I don't even know where to start. So what would be one of the first things that you could do to try and identify somebody that you might deem in your area a hedge fund so that you can try and create the relationship with them? So one thing that I tell people to do if you just don't know where to start, because a lot of times you could just ask around your Facebook groups, hey, are there any hedge funds buying? I got some deals coming up, quote unquote. I got some deals coming up to see if you can find, this hedge fund or that. So you can do that on Facebook, but a easy way to identify a hedge fund so that you can reach out to them, create the relationship, is simply either get access to the MLS or talk to a realtor, pay them for their time, buy them lunch or whatever. And what you do is, hey, can you go on the MLS and develop a list for me of all the cash transactions for the last 4 months or 6 months? Okay. They may pull a list because they can use the MLS to develop a list of current properties, sold properties, right? So what you want to do is get a list for the last 4 to 6 months of all the sold properties where there wasn't a bank involved. So just say, hey, can I get a list of all the properties where there was a cash transaction? Depending on which MLS it is, there's several hundred over the United States. When you talk to a realtor, hey, can you also narrow that down to who paid cash? And it was a company. Okay. So you might go from 600 transactions down to 450. Then you can ask them, you can't always get this, but you can ask them, hey, can you also separate it by somebody who's bought 20? Okay. So somebody who's bought 20 property in the last 4 months, because more than likely they're a big buyer. If they're not at a hedge fund level themselves, they're operating with a hedge fund that's above them's instructions. So you want to find in your marketplace somebody who's closed a lot of cash transactions in a short amount of time. So I would use the parameters of the last 4 to 6 months, work with a realtor, get some cash transactions, and then if they can separate it by who's bought a bunch, then it makes your life easier. If not, now you have a list of 600 cash transactions, Mike. Okay, so now they have 600 cash transactions, and you can sift through those. And what I would do is identify the ones that keep buying again and again and again and again and again. One, they're either a hedge fund or a huge buyer. So either way you win. Okay. So either way you win. So Mike, that's the fastest way to find out if somebody in town is buying up everything, and you can identify that potentially that they're a hedge fund. Okay. It's
a bit of a ninja technique as well. And because you are using a real estate agent and you're developing a relationship with them, you're going to A, develop a new connection, and B, it didn't cost you any money.
Yeah, correct.
You've got an agent that you can now, when you get deals, maybe they can help list them, and they're going to have deals that they can't list that they can feed to you. And now you have the ability to use the MLS and leverage for cash buyers and finding the ultimate cash buyer, which is kind of where we're looking at right now, is the hedge fund buyer, the one that you don't really need to get the proof of funds letter from. They have it.
Yeah. You don't need a proof of funds letter. That's funny. Yeah, you don't need I'm a regimented monster. If you haven't seen from the videos, I just literally want to infuse into your brain exactly what you need to do, marching orders. I'm a very linear thinking person on step by step. So, you don't need a proof of funds letter if they're a hedge fund buyer and they're buying 20, 30 houses a month, or they've closed a ton of transactions. Now, having said that, once you find out who bought it, just look them up online and skip trace, find a phone number for them or their office or their company, and just say, hey, what are you buying? What are you buying? What are you looking for? So you can skip trace, call them, reach out to them. And here's the thing. They want to talk to you. So if you're like, well, I'm new to this, are they going to be like, hey, who the hell are you? They'll say, who the hell are you? But they'll say it very in a loving way. Hey, who the hell are you? Hey, can you bring me deals? All they care about is their bottom line and closing deals. So you just explain, hey, look, I'm identifying property in the marketplace. I want to put them in front of you, and I want to close a lot of transactions with you. That is music to their ears. So
it's the same way as having a conversation with a motivated seller that's looking to, they have a need to potentially sell their house. A hedge fund manager has a need to fulfill their hedge fund to either buy property or whatever it is. They have a quota they need to meet. So they do want to talk to somebody like you who has the ability to help them fulfill that meeting. You just need to establish with them that you can, in fact, be that person. And I think that is a pain point a lot of folks have. Like, well, what do I say, Jason? I know this is a question. What do I say to the hedge fund manager once I've identified him and hey, this is definitely somebody? How do I not sound like a total noob if I can?
Yeah, correct. Perfect segue, because I was going there next. So here's what we do, folks. Okay, so listen intently. Here's what we do. You just simply say, and sometimes, like I've heard it so much as a cliche that sometimes it makes me get a little squeamish or cringe a little bit.
Ooh, the cringe.
Yeah, the cringe, right? And but it's exactly the way to talk to them. Just say, hey, look, I know you. Here's a lot of like new investors that have heard some lingo like, what's your buy box? What's your buy box? Hey, what's your buy box? I've heard that on 7 podcasts. There's nothing wrong with saying that phrase because it's true. It's just been overused. Here's the way to look more professional when you talk to them. Just add something in front of the buy box phrase. Hey, look, I know you're buying specific assets because I know you want a specific asset for your portfolio. So if you don't mind me asking, what is your very specific and particular buy box so that I only put something in front of you that I know will meet your criteria? Unless you tell me that you want everything in the marketplace, which I'll send you everything that I get. I know you have a specific asset that you're looking for. What does that look like? And myself and the people that I work with will go out and identify those assets and put them in front of you. That is a professional way to talk. If you just say, hey, I'm identifying some properties. Tell me what your buy box is, and I'll put it in your path. They'll still take it because they have people to answer to. And working with these companies for 15 plus years, and them hiring me to beat everyone to everything. So they are pretty. Yeah, send me what you got. But I want you to put your best foot forward. I want you to sound like you know what you're talking about right out of the gate. So, hey, look, I know you go after specific assets. Can you let me know what that looks like? So that I can put just those in front of you. I know that what you want is different from somebody else. Just if you tell me what your specific buy box is, then I will do my best to put only those in front of you, unless you tell me that you just simply want everything. That 15 seconds is exactly the way to get their attention and let them know that you're not just saying, hey, what's your buy box? And I'll see what I can do.
No, exactly. And this is really important, folks. If you're not taking notes, you should go back, stop this video right now, go back and write down exactly what he said, because you're not understanding that not only are you sounding more professional, this phrase is going to help you identify the properties you want to send to them. So you're not wasting your time sending them stuff they're never going to look at. And you're feeling like, oh, I didn't do this right. No, what you actually didn't do was find out what the guy was looking for, and he's just passing all your stuff and not really taking you seriously. You write this down. Now you're narrowing down on exactly what you should send to him. So now when he opens up that email, instead of just deleting it because maybe it was just some random stuff that he really wasn't looking for, oh, yeah, this is exactly what I told him I was looking for. Now you're engaged in conversation.
Correct. So, folks, this is exactly what we want you to do. So you can find out who's buying the most property, see if they're looking to buy more, and then you can connect with them by just skip tracing and calling them. Once you know their company name, because you see who's done the most purchasing, you can also look them up on LinkedIn because they're big companies and some of them are publicly traded, so they're professionals. You can find them on LinkedIn and have a direct connection with them and start talking to them.
Oh,
that's what I would do. So
go look up the hedge fund, the assets manager for whatever bank or credit union. If you can't, find them, identifying them through the MLS is the first way. Second route, like you said, go on LinkedIn, find out that bank name, the credit union name, look up the assets manager and find out. They put up their title. Just find the assets manager, hey, and connect with them, send them a LinkedIn message. If you don't know how to do that, I'm not going to walk you through now. Go back and watch one of our previous training videos.
Correct.
We get into detail on that. But the second way to reach the hedge fund, and then repeat what Jason said. Just say that verbatim, get their criteria. And once you get a property, let's just say we fast forward, the hedge fund is liking something that you sent to them. What is the next step then to go ahead and execute the wholesale, make them happy so they come back to you and be like, dude, what else you got?
You just simply put it in front of them. Say, hey, make me an offer. Tell me what you can pay. I'll get you access to the property. And once this one's executed, I'll send you more. I don't want to complicate it any further than that because these folks aren't playing games. They simply just want Tell me what you want for it. We'll go look at it. We'll submit you an offer. And then you just submit your contract that you wrote to buy it and the contract they wrote to buy it from you to the title company and let the sucker close. It's that fast, folks. So don't make this difficult. It's that easy. But you should identify them because when they decide to open the floodgates and you've already have established a relationship, it'll just put you in the winner's circle.
That's excellent. And I know we're got to wrap up this video because we're getting towards the end here, but the best part of that last bit that Jason just said, that, well, you just kind of make the deal happen with them. It's not complicated. They're not going to play games with you. They're just going to give you what they can do. Either it works or it doesn't work, and you move on to the next deal. So, folks, if this brought any value to you, please like, comment, type your questions below. I guarantee you have some, but at least give us a subscribe so we know that you've retained the material and that you do want to know more, because Jason and myself, I don't want to exclude myself too much, have a lot of good stuff to show you. But Jason, any final words to those individuals right now who are about to get off the sidelines, go online, and either contact their real estate agent or go on LinkedIn and find a hedge fund?
Yeah. Just here, I want to end this because I know sometimes we go a little long. Look, it's simple. They may be your best buyer once you establish a relationship. They may buy 25 property from you a year. You might average 20 grand per contract. So if that's the case, then that's 500 G's. So they'd be your best buyer, and literally you can build an entire business around their appetite. So starts with you reaching out to them and seeing what they're looking for, period. End of story. So stay tuned. We got more good stuff coming, but this is exactly why you should be going after. Why should you work with hedge funds for real estate?
That's it, folks. Nothing else to be said. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next episode of the No Flipping Excuses Show.
Boom. Let's go.
Bye.
Hey, Jason Palliser here with the No Flipping Excuses channel. Hey, thanks for watching our videos, but we want you to take it to the next level. So what I want you to do is go to jointhetaxwebinar.com, where you can watch a free webinar on our favorite lead source, which is tax delinquent leads, where you can get exclusive inbound leads where they're calling you and not on the MLS and have homeowners begging to talk to you. So it's our gift to you. Join that. Go to jointhetaxwebinar.com, and we look to see you on the inside.